We have plenty of time to look ahead to the Big Ten next year, and look, we'll do it over a course of months here, and there are plenty of players I think you would look at and say, man, I'm excited to see what OG Anunoby does next year. Mark Loving, Jaquan Lyle, will those guys build on this season and turn Ohio State from an NIT team to an NCAA team? I think you can go through the list of every team, and there's some obvious choices, but give me a few guys who maybe people aren't thinking about who you're excited to see on the court next year.
Well, I think there's a guy that doesn't get talked about enough here in Chicago, up in Evanston, and it's Bryan Mackintosh. Bryan Mackintosh is one of the best point guards that no one's talking about throughout the rest of the country. I think teams in the Big Ten know all about Bryan Mackintosh, especially coaches in the Big Ten. When you try to scheme and game plan against this guy, you realize how difficult it is because there's no one way to stop him. You hope that he misses shots because he can score, and you hope that he turns it over because he really distributes the ball very well. He makes his teammates better, and I think with Vic Law back, I think a year under Derek Pardon's belt is really going to help him. This could be a very dangerous team. Even Aaron Falzone's going to find a little more confidence in the rest of his game. He's a confident shooter, but he's going to get more confident playing with a guy like Bryan Mackintosh.
Yeah, they lost some big pieces with Olan Demps. It'll be interesting to see how they replace them, but you mentioned Law coming back from injury, really good recruiting class as well. Another guy in the state of Illinois who doesn't get nearly the publicity he deserves.
There's a guy, and I'm telling you, this guy could start on any team in the country because of his versatility. He could play any position, and he has had to do so this season, and it's Malcolm Hill. Malcolm Hill, you can't say enough about what he did for a tough season for the Illini. I mean, all the injuries, which meant Malcolm Hill had to be the point guard, the two guard, the three-man, four-man, and at times, I saw him covering A.J. Hammonds and Isaac Haas. He's had to do it all for his team. He does it quietly. He doesn't sing his own praises. He doesn't do too much of that. You know, you just saw the archer or whatever. He really just goes about his business. He's a great leader. And I think this team, if they can have a good season next year, people will be talking about him not only as Big Ten Player of the Year, but also as a Wooden Award candidate. He's that good.
Question will be the group around him, and there have been some off-the-court issues, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. We looked at Michigan, a team that had a major injury this year in Karis LeVert. Derrick Walton had to kind of pick up the slack, and I know you're excited to watch him going forward as well.
Well, I'm really excited to see him as the go-to guy, as the leader of this team, because coming into this season, it was Karis LeVert and Spike Albrecht's team. Well, neither one of those guys were really able to play. So Derrick Walton was just a contributor. He was just a piece of the pie. Well, right now, he's the biggest guy for this team. And if he can lead this team, they'll be really successful. I see them finishing in the top 4 of the league next year.
Led them in rebounds, assists, and steals. First Wolverine to do that since Bernard Robinson back in 2004. So all those guys are known commodities. How about one that people may not know about?
Well, I think there's a kid down in Bloomington that no one's really talking about. He started the season with an injury, had microfracture surgery. When he started practicing, Tom Crean started singing his praises. He said that practices got much tougher for the guards that were there once Josh Newkirk was able to start practicing. He is unbelievable in terms of his athleticism, but Crean even said his heart is even better than his talent. And that says something, especially at a place where you have great talent, you have great pieces. You bring Josh Newkirk in, who played with Yogi, who already has experience playing at Pitt. I think he's the key piece for their success next year.
I also feel like his skill set may be more suited to their style than it was to Pittsburgh. He's more of an up-and-down player, and he will fit in very well with what the Hoosiers want to do.